What if I told you that the most important skill during the World Cup isn't kicking a soccer ball? It's something else entirely. And when you figure out what it is, it just makes so much sense because think about what's happening right now. Millions of people around the world are emotionally invested in every match. They're watching every goal, every penalty kick, every controversial call. They're celebrating victories, grieving losses. Social media is exploding with reactions. News coverage is nonstop. Conversations are happening everywhere. And while the World Cup brings people together in beautiful ways, it also creates something else: stress. Excitement and stress often live in the same neighborhood. Your body doesn't always know the difference between watching a high stakes match and experiencing a high stakes situation for yourself. Your heart rate, it increases. Your muscles, they tense. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your nervous system becomes activated. And that's happening to millions of people all at the same time. For me, yoga became a lifeline after I was diagnosed with lupus in 2009. It taught me that while we can't always control what's happening around us, we can learn to influence what's happening within us. And so that most important skill, honestly, I believe it's a lesson that the world needs right now, because we're not just dealing with the World Cup. We're dealing with social media. We're dealing with economic uncertainty. We're dealing with political division. We're dealing with information overload. We're dealing with constant notifications, breaking news alerts, and endless opinions, because everybody has one. The average person today is carrying more mental and emotional stimulation than ever before, and most people never stop long enough to notice what it's doing to their nervous system. They just keep scrolling. They just keep reacting. They just keep consuming. They just keep absorbing until stress becomes their normal state. And here's the thing: just because something is common doesn't mean it's healthy, doesn't make it normal. Many people have become so accustomed to living in a state of stress that they don't even recognize it anymore. They think the feeling overwhelmed is normal. They think that feeling exhausted is normal. They think that constantly worrying is normal. But that's not how we're designed to live. The human nervous system was built to move between activation and recovery, between effort and rest, between challenge and restoration. But today, many people stay stuck in activation. They are carrying yesterday's stress into today. They're not using the number one skill. They're carrying yesterday's conversations into today's conversations, yesterday's stress into tomorrow's decisions, and eventually stress becomes and affecting everything: their sleep, their focus, their relationships, their health, their leadership. This is where yoga becomes more than stretching. Research has shown that practices like mindful breathing and meditative yoga can help reduce stress hormones, can calm the nervous system. In fact, studies have found that gentle meditative yoga can decrease anxiety, can create a measurable shift towards a calmer physiological state. So think about that. A few conscious breaths can literally begin to change how your body responds to stress. That's powerful. And that's why millions of fans need a deep breath right now, because breath is the most valuable skill. Not because sports are bad, not because excitement is bad, but because the ability to regulate ourselves matters. When your team wins, breathe. When your team loses, breathe. When the headlines make you anxious, breathe. When life feels uncertain, breathe. Because breathing creates space. And that space, inside that space, something happens. We stop reacting, we start responding. We stop activating from fear. We start operating from wisdom. We stop letting the world control our emotions, and we start taking responsibility for our inner state. That's leadership. And I believe the world needs more of it, because peace doesn't begin in stadiums. Peace doesn't begin in governments. Peace begins in the nervous system. It begins when ordinary people learn how to stay grounded in extraordinary times. The World Cup reminds us how connected humanity can be. Yoga reminds us how connected we are to ourselves. And when those two things come together, that's where the transformation happens. That's why my team and I are on a mission to spread world peace through inner peace. Because every peaceful community starts with people who know how to regulate their own minds, their own bodies, their own emotions. So if you're a yoga teacher, yes. If you're an aspiring yoga teacher, yes. If you're a leader, if you're someone making the world a better place, yes. Thank you for your positive impact. Keep doing it. And if you want to follow along with my team and I, join us. One of the ways is subscribe to this channel. You could also go deeper by joining me on Sunday night sessions where I teach how to use yoga to become a vehicle for leadership, opportunity, and meaningful change in this world. If you want to learn more, check out the caption for details. When you come, bring your book, your notebook, your pen, your questions, and your vision for making the world a better place. Because sometimes changing the world starts with something as simple as taking a deep breath. I'll see you in class. Peace.